do you have the sales courage to actually make the sale? I mean, you're asking me, I'm asking you, by the way. I know I'm reversing the questions, right? So let me ask you again. Do you have the courage to make the sale? Hashtag, stop running from the sale. Stop running from the sale. You know, I was having a conversation with someone recently, and they want to really step up and lead their organization. And they want to lead the organization from a whole different perspective. The perspective they want to lead them from is, how do they go after larger deals? How do they close the deals faster? And how do they come across without being salesy? And in the conversation with their sales teams, one of the things they noticed is they didn't believe that they had the courage to really step up their game and go after larger deals. Now, I don't think the person talking to me had that mindset. Like, the person sitting there wasn't thinking, I don't have the courage. I don't have the courage. I don't have the courage. That's not what they were thinking. But as I was listening to the person, I said to myself, you know what? They need hashtag sales courage. That's right, I did say that. Hey, you should jot that down in your notes while you're doing this interview. Write it down, write down hashtag sales courage. The question is, do you have the sales courage, the confidence to close the big deal? Now let's talk about what sales courage means. Sales courage is the entrepreneur's mind or spirit to keep on going in the face of criticism or setbacks. And they're willing to go beyond their fears to ask for the big deal. And that's important. So let's ask the question again. Do you have the sales courage? Shay, sales courage in what areas? Well, do you have the sales courage to go after larger deals, to go into prospecting areas you've never gone into in your business? What would it mean right now if you went after an account? You called on an individual. You looked down inside of you and you said, you know what, I'm gonna find the sales courage just to make the call a second or third or fourth time. Oftentimes while I'm working with folks, they have the belief system, but they don't have the courage. Now, I'm not saying the courage to run into a burning building, if you will, and put out a fire or save someone, but what about the courage when you ask for the order and you ask the person, how do you feel about moving forward? And some people, when they get to that level, before they even ask those words, their body language changes. Yes, it does. Their voice rate changes. Their tonality, that's right, tonality changes. Something changes in their physiology. Maybe they break out a sweat inside. In the back of their mind, like, here we go, here we go, here we go. But I'm gonna encourage you, that's right, I did say encourage, to step back and have the hashtag sales courage to take action. See, here's what I want you to know. Please put this in your notes. You can be fearful and still take action. See, you can be fearful or call on an appointment. You can be fearful in using technology. You cannot have the courage, if you will, to ask them to sign for the contract. You can be nervous about following with folks when you followed up a first time, they didn't call you back. A second time, they didn't call you back. A third time after you left them an email. A fourth time after you said, look, call me on my mobile number, call me on my office, call me on my kid's phone, like I'm here for you. And you still gotta reach down, you gotta have that sales courage, not to come across as a pest, not to come across as salesy, not to come across as arm twisting, but to have the courage to know that you can, that's right, you can, with your products, with your services, with your talent, you can help someone improve the quality of their business, or more importantly, include the quality of their life. So I asked the question, do you have the sales courage? Jot that down, hashtag sales courage. And my response to you, as you're listening and you're watching, the answer is yes. You have the sales courage. Why, Shay? Because if someone else has done it, so can you. And the law of belief is whatever you tell yourself over and over again, you're going to eventually believe. That's right. The law of belief is whatever you tell yourself over and over again, you will eventually believe. So say these words, please. I want you to tell yourself this 7 times a day for the next 14 days. That's right. I'm giving you an assignment. You and I are having a conversation, but I want to give you an assignment. 7 times a day for the next 14 days, I want you to use these words. You ready? Oh, good. I'm glad you're ready. I'm glad you write down. Here it is. I have hashtag sales courage. Now, this is 4 words. You can do this. Go ahead, write it down. I have Hashtag sales courage. I'm going to say it one more time. Just by saying those words, I feel it right here. Look, you're going to say it right here. Say it right here so it comes from your heart. Hey, I'm the sales cardiologist. I get to the heart of your sales problem. Courage. Here it is. I have what? Hashtag sales courage. And you know what? I believe it. Like, even if you don't believe right now, even if there's a little voice back in here saying, no, I don't, Shay. No, I don't, Shay. No, I don't, Shay. I want you to tell yourself this. Shay Brown, that's me, Shay Brown, I hold the belief for you that you have what? Hashtag sales courage. Because sometimes you need someone to believe in you before you believe in yourself. So with that being said, go out there, do what you do best, make a difference in the world. You got into this entrepreneurship role because you wanted unlimited financial freedom. You wanted to make a bigger difference. You wanted to build generational wealth. You wanted to change your community, change your family, make a huge difference, and you are. So I'm going to encourage you to what? Tell yourself what? 7 times a day for the next 14 days. Tell yourself what? I have what? Hashtag sales courage. With that being said, my name is Shay Brown, your sales cardiologist. Make it a great day, everyone. And we're going to make some good things happen when we connect again next time.